What is going on, guys? I'm Consumer Tech Review, and today I'm going to talk about my YouTube journey, how long it took me to go from not doing this to a full-time job to doing this as a full-time job, my full YouTube story up until today. All right, so I started this channel, Consumer Tech Review, on May 2nd, 2019. So you may ask yourself, is that how long you have been doing YouTube? And the answer is absolutely not. I started my first channel on August 26, 2011, and I posted just couple of random videos. I was 10 years old, so I would just post random stuff on there, whatever I found interesting. I gained a total of a whopping 7 subscribers and got a total of 103 views on my most viewed video over the course of 9 years. So yeah, not very successful. Next, I created a gaming channel on May 5th, 2014 with my best friend, and we would just do games on there, play games, do some like commentary type stuff.
'Twas the luck of the land.
Woo! We made a total of 33 videos and we got a total of 1,200 views. All right, after this, in the same year, I decided to treat YouTube more seriously and do it like more of a direction, actually legitimately sitting down and doing it in a direction, strategizing it a little bit. And that was in July 28th of the same year in 2014. And that was a fitness channel that I had started, kind of teen fitness. I was 13 at that point.
Everybody, this is ECK, Electronics Comedy Knowledge.
All right, so when I would start doing high school, as I was homeschooled all the way from 0 till college. So I was homeschooled my entire life until college. So when I would start typically doing high school, I basically started doing that channel more than anything else. And because I was homeschooled and a very difficult child, I didn't really do much of any high school because I just refused to do it. And I was very difficult. So it made me not do a lot of high school. But instead, I learned YouTube a ton. I did a ton of videos. I did over 400 videos on that channel, gained 1.7 million views, and I think a little over 6,000 subs. Now keep in mind, that is entirely what my high school really was. There was some traveling involved and I did school along the way, just a little bit, but really not very much, not as much as I should have done. So yeah, I basically learned and lived YouTube all of high school. Now keep in mind, with those 1.7 million views in all of those videos, I made less than what 1 month working at McDonald's would have made me over the course of 3 years. So yeah, not very much money. I did a few jobs along the way during my YouTube career. I did a little bit of stuff in kind of like a construction type thing. I worked at a Gold's Gym that paid like $6.70 an hour or something crazy. So basically at this point, I've failed at YouTube on all of my channels. I've wanted to be a YouTuber since I was 10 years old, and I continued to fail at it. Even when I strategized and sat down and did one thing, I kept failing. And when I was 17, I came to the conclusion, hey, you're gonna have to move out or you're gonna have to go to college. And I really didn't wanna go to college. So after failing on YouTube for years, I did the most logical thing that any logical thinking person would do. I continued to try to make YouTube my full-time gig. And after a few months, what do you know? It failed again. So I came to the conclusion that it probably wasn't gonna work, or wasn't gonna work in time at least, which is actually what I did think. I was like, it's gonna work. I'm gonna make it work at some point, just not in time. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna buckle down, I'm gonna study for the SAT, get a good score, and then get a good ride in state so I can go to college and then kind of do YouTube on the side maybe, or something else that can make me some money. The goal was never like, I thought I would make $1 million on YouTube or a couple million. It was really just to be able to live doing what I really loved doing, because I did jobs that I didn't really love, or when I did like them, they didn't pay very well, like not even enough to live on well. So for 3 months, I buckled down, learned everything that I needed to learn during high school. I got a good score on my SAT, and I got a good ride to an in-state college where I only had to spend about $5,000 a year to go there. So that's cheaper than literally living on my own and moving out. So that worked out. All right, now here's where this channel starts. So after I studied for the SAT and got accepted into college, got the ride, I posted 2 videos on this channel, and that's when this channel started. But then that was it. I never posted any more videos until I was in college, and I kind of just forgot about this channel. And at that point, it wasn't even called Consumer Tech Review, it was actually called iReviews. So you OGs will know that. I don't think any, maybe some of you, like a couple 100 maybe. So basically now I'm in college. I have a Sony a6500, which is actually still the camera I use today. And I have a Razer Blade 15 that I bought with graduation money. And then I have about enough graduation money to pay for my next semester. So basically all I was thinking about was, how am I gonna pay for the next semester? I didn't wanna go into debt. I was like, I'm not gonna go into debt for school, but I really wanted to do something that I actually loved doing and actually made me motivated and could potentially make me enough money to like not go to college, because again, as you remember, I didn't wanna go to college. So even though I loved being there, I just wanted to be out on my own. That was kind of who I am. So I decided I was gonna do real estate videography to pay for school, and after calling tons of real estate agents to just offer a free one just to get started, and all of them said no. I was a little discouraged. Okay, so after calling all of those people during college, doing all the schoolwork and everything, I woke up one morning during my first semester and I saw that one of those 2 videos that I posted had made me $2, or not quite $2, but almost $2. And you might think, okay, $2 is absolutely nothing, but my channel that I had done all throughout high school had literally made almost nothing. Like $2 was close to what I made in a month. So making $2 on a single video that I posted a long time ago and then kind of forgot about was huge to me. So I did the math really quick and I figured out, hey, I could actually pay for college by doing YouTube. If I did it like reviewing products, maybe that would work. And I was kind of like that. I was like, yeah, there's no actual way I could actually make enough money to pay for college doing YouTube, something that I love and wanted to do for a decade, well, almost a decade at that point. But whatever the fact, I decided that was how I was gonna pay for college. So I started reviewing things, anything, under the name of this channel, which was not Consumer Tech Review at the time, that was iReviews. And I just started reviewing everything I could. I reviewed a humidifier, basically anything. And at that point, I didn't have money. I only had enough money to really pay for the next semester. So I just reviewed anything I was given or had, and I couldn't afford to buy products new. So I would sometimes buy products used on like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. I remember in college, I had a $34 TV that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. So this was fairly successful. And at the time I was like, actually bringing in some money. And remember, I thought like a lot of money was like $500 a month. Like I thought that was insane. And I definitely wasn't making that in college, but I was bringing in enough where I felt optimistic about doing this as a legitimate job. And I was absolutely happy, like unbelievably happy. Okay, so 2 semesters goes by. I got a 4.0 both semesters. Then over the summer, I moved in with my girlfriend and her family, and I started doing videos in their basement, which was actually a tiny little room. In fact, my first monitor review was in their basement. And because it was summer, I had more time to just focus on that fully. I basically wasn't doing anything else. So all I was doing YouTube. I was bringing in a little money. It was becoming more and more successful. Mind you, I don't mean insanely successful. Just like at that point, I thought anything was success, which it definitely was awesome. I still remember making nothing on YouTube, literally cents, like 1 cent or 2 cents per video. All right, now this is the big point. This is where this channel actually became a thing. The end of the summer comes and COVID hits, it starts becoming a thing. I then planned to go back to my parents' house for like a week or 2 and then go back to school. However, when I got to my parents' house, they talked me into staying there, just taking a semester off because of COVID. And I was all ears, and I really wanted to do that because all I really wanted to do was focus on the channel and do more of that because I didn't really want to go to college. So I was down for that. At that point, I actually got a full desk set up and moved back into my parents' house in my childhood bedroom with a bunk bed, and the other wall was a desk setup. That's when I started actually spending any money on it. I spent a lot of what I was making at that point, like $500, $600 was a lot to spend on the channel. So I started working heavily on my channel, treating it like a full-time job, basically hoping, because it started to increase and become more successful. I was getting more views, gaining a small following, really enjoying doing it. And this is where I thought, hey, I could actually become a legitimate YouTuber and do this for like as a full-time job. And that made me so excited because that's what I had wanted for a decade. It wasn't about becoming rich. It was about being happy, doing what I love doing, video, and talking about tech. Like, what better job is there? So I keep doing this, and at this point, it becomes pretty obvious I'm not really going back to college. I'm making enough where I can support myself and do YouTube more, and if that's gonna work, then I'm gonna do it. So I did that until December 31st, where I decided I'm gonna move out on my own, and that's when I really decided, hey, I'm doing YouTube full-time. I'm a legit college dropout now. So I moved up to Ohio to be closer to my girlfriend on January 1st, 2021. So I moved on the 31st, December 31st, 2020. Moved up there on January 1st, 2021. Now this point was huge for the channel. It made it grow a lot, but it was also the hardest point during the entire channel. I got hacked twice and had the video terminated twice and had to get it back. That was insanely stressful, and it really hurt income, especially when moving out. It was very stressful. And then we actually got COVID, and I was out for like a little over 2 weeks not to be able to do videos. And once your full-time gig, that's a big deal. Morale was not high, motivation was not high, and I even got burned out once. So at least that plays for 7 months. And then on July 28th, 2021, my girlfriend and I moved down to Charlottesville, Virginia, and moved into a bigger townhouse to be able to pursue YouTube as a career even more intensely. And that brings us to today. And at this point, I invest thousands of dollars into the channel and basically think about it 24/7, but it's absolutely what I love to do. I get to wake up every single day and be so happy to have this job. And that cannot be said for all YouTubers. I know a lot of people that get really stressed out about this job, and it's absolutely probably one of the most stressful jobs out there that is thought to not be stressful. It's thought to be really easy and fun all the time, and the logistical planning of a channel and the highs and lows, depression and happiness that you go through on YouTube is ridiculous. A lot more goes into it than you might think. But yeah, because I failed for so long, and saying this and actually speaking it and looking at the timeline, it doesn't seem like I failed that long, but I'm 20 now. I started doing YouTube at 10 and really tried when I got to high school, but you think that's a decade, and only in the last year really has it been successful enough to be a full-time job. And it's something that I thought about almost every single day, probably since I was 14 to now. And because I failed, I don't really see it as a failure. I see it as the channel that failed, but the experience that I got being not successful at YouTube has taught me so much about now, has taught me that getting 100,000 views versus getting 1,000 views does not mean you're winning. When I make a video, I make it for the people that comment and say, I loved this. This is so great, you're underrated. I absolutely love those comments. I read every single one and I think about it. If my video doesn't get 100,000 views, I don't get discouraged because I get to wake up every single day, walk downstairs and do exactly what I want to do every day. Obviously, this is definitely a job. It is a lot of work. I spend hours writing notes for videos. In fact, I think I spent an hour and a half writing the notes for this video, but I really enjoy it and I'm really thankful to be in this position. But yeah, it's been a long journey with blood, sweat, and tears. All of that has legitimately gone into this job. And so now, where am I now? I have not given you guys a house tour, but I am in a brand new townhouse. It actually is fairly brand new. It was built in 2017 and it was all for the channel. We actually spending a lot more renting here just for the channel. The whole downstairs was really just for the channel. Just in the last 2 weeks, I think I've spent almost $10,000 on stuff for the channel, which is insane to say, and it was a lot. And I'm pretty much not buying groceries until the end of the month when I get paid. But yeah, YouTube is the absolute job that I have wanted. And the one thing that I've learned through doing this most is that if you really want something, you have to fail at it. And even if you continue to fail at it, it will work eventually, probably, if you keep trying. I'd given up multiple times on YouTube, multiple times along the timeline that I just talked about for the last 20 minutes. But the thing is, I wanted it so badly that I kept going back and kept going back. And now I'm not at a point where I'm at the top at all. And I may never be at the top, but I'm at the top of my happiness. I don't think I can ever get happier than I am right now because I'm doing what I want to do every single day in the place that I want to do it, with a beautiful studio behind me, which feels awesome. So much better than the old apartment, right? I mean, this is like so vibey. I forgot to turn a light on. Why did I forget to turn the light on? That's so much better. See, now it gives a little bit of vibey stuff going back there. I left my phone. Well, I'm not re-recording this. But yeah, this was probably one of the most boring videos I've ever put out on this channel. But some of you guys said that you did want this. I asked you if you wanted this a few videos ago, I think. But yeah, I literally forgot an entire part right at the end of the video. I literally forgot it on the notes. How do I do this? I started another channel called Type C Tech Reviews, which I only do monitor reviews on because I wanted to have consumer tech review be a little bit easier to scroll through and watch videos on. Wow, that channel is at like 3,700 subs, which is awesome. And yeah, that channel's doing well. But yeah, this is a consumer tech review. If you guys enjoyed this story about my lifetime, there is probably almost no one. If like one of you guys stays till the end of this video, comment it below because I mean, this is gonna be a longie. This is gonna be a longie. But yeah, hopefully if you guys are starting a YouTube channel or have continued to do YouTube, or if you are a YouTube channel, maybe you, not a YouTube channel, if you're a YouTuber, maybe you can relate to this a little bit, or maybe you can gain something from this. You know, you're gonna win at some point if you're on YouTube long enough. You know, I mean, if you keep trying, you have to keep trying and keep getting better. That's the most important thing. Number one tip above everything on YouTube on how to win on YouTube, the number one tip that you won't hear anywhere else because they try to give you concrete stuff, but YouTube isn't concrete. You have to create it for yourself. This is the number one tip. Do not prioritize quantity over quality. It is quality 100% with every part of YouTube. If you do every part of a YouTube video correctly, it will do well sometimes. So if you do 100 videos and you do them all the best you possibly can, one of those videos will do well. And honestly, that's all you need. All right, now that I just gave you that gold mine of advice, this is your tech review, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for all your love and support. You guys are awesome. You make my dream become a reality every single day, which is insane. But yeah, thank you guys so much. This is Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.